Hi everyone, again welcome back to my channel. I'm Finished Curious Minds. Today in this video we will try to understand what relative dating in archaeological anthropology or prehistoric anthropology looks like. Now, quickly begin with the today's slides. Firstly, we have to understand what is stratigraphy. So basically stratigraphy means the study of rock layers, means strata. Strata, the word strata means the rock layers or layers, and the layering which is known as stratification. Now, stratigraphy, which is an integral part of an archaeologist's day-to-day excavation process. Why it is important in archaeological context or prehistoric archaeology, or in general to study stratigraphy. It definitely, I was talking about what it does. So it is the study of rock layers. So definitely after knowing this thing, you all can understand what exactly I try to mention. It provides the understanding of the geological events that have gone through. By studying the soil and the strata, we can try to establish a relative dating age of that formation or of that sediments of stratas. In this image, I hope it is clearly visible that you can see these are the strata. This one that I am marking here. Now, if you think that these layers, now these are the stratas. So, when an archaeologist comes and try to, after doing the exploration, when they decide to dig, so what they actually try to observe here is, after the digging of this area, as you can see here, they try to establish or try to understand the formation of the soils and what it indicates. Next up, in the principle of relative dating, what you can see here, relative dating, as I have mentioned earlier, which helps us to understand the age of a particular area, like these sediments or the stratas of the soil. uh, it helps us to understand a relative date. It is not exact date that we have studied in the absolute dating method. So, principle of superimposition. What is principle of superimposition? It basically tells us that the sequence of sedimentary rocks, the oldest layer, are at the bottom. Now, if you quickly look at this image in the green section, you can see, then you can tell me definitely that this is the oldest one. And over time, the second deposition occurs. This is the blue one, means this is the earliest, and this is the moderate one, and this yellow one is the youngest. So law of superimposition indicates that the earliest uh, or oldest layer should be on the bottom, and whereas in the youngest section or youngest sediment or youngest strata should be on the top. Or this is the main concept of principle of superimposition. Now we will understand what the principle of original horizontality state. It basically means that the sediments are originally deposited in the horizontal form. In this image, I hope it is clear that these sediments are deposited in the horizontal formation. Now, principle of lateral continuity. After hearing this term lateral, we have understood, or we earlier know that the uh, lateral means side. So these sediments or these debris basically extend in the lateral direction, as you can see in this image. Now, there are various types of stratigraphy. Lithostratigraphy. Now, what is lithostratigraphy is all about? It is the basic. It is physical and petrographic characteristics of rocks. Now, next up, we will understand what is biostratigraphy. Biostratigraphy helps us to determine the relative age and its relationship with the strata. Chronostratigraphy, which focuses on the age of the rocks and their time formation. Stratigraphic columns. It is the graphical representation of vertical distribution of different rock layers. It is basically helps us to visualize or understand the sequence and relationship between the layers. Here we will take an example of the Grand Canyon, where the various layers are visible, uh, prominently visible in the Grand Canyon stratigraphy, and these helps us to decode the history of this region. Obviously, there are various limitations of this study, specifically in relative dating or in stratigraphy. Let me quickly talk about this. Uh, so basically, relative dating has lots and lots of limitation. Uh, it usually does not provide geological histories such as folding, faulting, and erosion, and can complete interpretation. These are the importance of relative dating stratigraphy. Understanding geological history, which is an integral part of the integral part of archaeological experts or anthropologists who basically try to understand the rocks and their relationship. Also, geologists comes with them or work in a collaboration, so that so that an archaeologist and can help or can get help from geologists to understand history of earth, including the periods of sediment deposition and erosional activity and tectonic activity, which is often impossible for an archaeologist to understand. This is where the geologists come into the picture. Now, identifying the order of events. Now, there are various activities take place during the phases. Uh, as we have already studied, or as we know, the glaciation and fluviation that has taken place in Earth history, so which somehow lacks its evidence when we try to understand or uh, look at the sediment of the stratus. We can surely understand after observing the layers which contains some fossils or another layer, and that concept that I have talked about, the law of superimposition, if we go according to that notion, then certain answer would be very clear to us. Now, establishing geological correlationship, because it is very important for an archaeologist or anthropologist to understand the exact time frame when they discover some fossil evidences or when they are doing some field work. Application of relative dating. Now, in archaeology, site stratigraphy is essential parts which helps the chronological sequence to understand the human activity at the site. Not only this, these layers may contain artifacts, ecofacts that gives us the understanding of various periods or time frames. It could be lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, Neolithic. So not only this, but the cultural context. As we all know that the evolution of human being not only take place biologically, but it also the how human being get the uh, or gets evolved through their cultural mechanism, and how they are how they coped up with the cultural aspects in their life. So when an archaeologist or anthropologist try to understand uh, these things, they try to interpret with this stratigraphic uh, aspect into their studies, so that they can understand the human culture and how they developed over time and how they interacted with their environment. For example, a layer containing pottery is found from a above soil, above layer of the soil, which indicates something with the tool that is made of stone, and it indicates the progression or technology and cultural practices. Paleontology, on the other hand, relative dating stratigraphy is essential in paleontology also. Now, the question arises why? Obviously, in the history of life and art, fossil found within a specific strata which tries to provide insight in various organisms and various geological periods. Geology, obviously, it is an integral part of this study. The tectonic activity, which is usually studied by a geologist, who actually are uh, who has the forte, or their cup of tea on this stratigraphy is much more than an anthropologist. They try to study the effect of the tectonic forces and the folding and faulting of the rocks, and this helps them to understand the process of the shape of earth's crust and history of plate of tectonics. Now, in a conclusion, we definitely can say that the relative dating, or specifically stratigraphy, is a very prime or a very foundational tool when it comes to uh, understand or reconstruct the geological past. It helps us to apply these techniques in not only in archaeology but also in paleontology, which helps us to find the piece together in the art's narrative. Not only this, but it helps us to understand the cultural evolution and the development, and how it is associated with environmental calamities, and how human beings have coped themselves up with these various activities. I hope this video is insightful to you all. If you find this video helpful, please do share and comment and subscribe to my channel. Follow for more. Thank you.